after a game like that? Does it kind of shake it off and on to Saturday, or does this one linger a little bit?
Yeah, there's a great sense of, I don't want to say frustration, but guys are upset, I think, individually with the way we played tonight. I think it was just, we're so out of sync there in the second period with penalties, and really played a poor period in that second period and left Flower completely out to dry. The good news is we get to play this team again, and we get to get another chance here at proving ourselves here in a couple of days. But we're really upset with the way we played tonight, and have to come to the rink tomorrow ready to do the things that's going to prepare us to play, a game that we're capable of winning against a team like that.
Next question from Max comes from David Shane, Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Max, their offense gets a lot of attention, but defensively, what were they able to do against you guys to limit shots, limit chances?
Yeah, the second period, like you keep talking about, we didn't get any shots. I didn't think the first period was poor. Even the third period, I know they probably sat back on their heels, but there were chances there as well. But their D are great at skating. And when we make life easy on them, they're able to, get pucks and skate with them, and they're up and out of their zone and making plays. And it's really important for us to not just go out of our way to play physical against them, but make sure that we're, tight in support, and we don't give them that time and space to skate. It just seemed like they're getting out of their end way too easy in that middle frame, and we got to make life a lot harder on their defensemen.
Next, we'll go to Chris Chapman, Fox Sports, Las Vegas.
Hey, Max, you've mentioned the second period now a couple times. There seems to be a pattern of second periods kind of being, I don't want to say bad for you guys, but some teams being better than you guys in those second periods. Is there an explanation for that? And how do you correct that?
I'm not saying I disagree, but I haven't noticed it being that big of a problem. I think the reason for the problem in that second period was the penalties and getting out of sync and getting their top guys puck touches on the power play, and they start to feel good. We obviously have to scramble the lines a bit when we're taking those penalties, and we just got completely out of a rhythm. If it is a problem, then obviously it's not something that you want to have continuously happen. But I can only speak on tonight, and I thought that penalties and that really threw us off our rhythm.
That'll conclude Max's availability. Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
Hi, David.
Hi, Pete. We just heard from Max. He talked a lot about the second period. What's your thoughts on it? Why did things get away from you there?
Well, where do you start? I think penalties, there was a bunch of things, but even after the first period, it was a little bit of a mirage where we were at. I didn't like our game even in the first, even though we were up, and got a good old fashioned ass kicking tonight.
Next question for Pete comes from Alan Snell, LV Sports Biz.
Hi, Alan.
Hi, Pete. I'm wondering with the condensed schedule, what kind of impact this game would have in terms of how you plan to manage the time, the workloads for your players. Such a condensed schedule down the stretch, and then you got the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, the condensed schedule played no role in tonight. There's no excuse for us not to have as much energy as them. Everyone's playing the same schedule. They're traveling from back to back, so it played no role tonight. The condensed schedule is what it is. Everyone's dealing with it, and we've got enough depth that we should have be able to put a lineup out there with good energy every night.
Next question for Pete tonight goes to Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Pete, what do you do as a coach after a game like that? Do you talk to the players, or do you just kind of let them just kind of work it out and head to practice tomorrow?
Well, no, we will look at it and talk to them. You know, I didn't talk to them immediately after the game. I think, you know, when you're a player and you play a game like that, you're not, you know, in the frame of mind to be taking in a lot of messaging. I think, you know, no one's happy with how the night went, and you know, tomorrow's going to be all about our response.
Next question comes from Chris Chapman, Fox Sports, Las Vegas.
Chris.
Yeah, hi, Pete. This morning you mentioned that these guys would remember the last game you played against them and they would be ready for you. You kind of got the ideal start, but I guess how frustrating is it that after that ideal start, things kind of went south and you really didn't have an answer for them?
Yeah. Well, you hit it on the head. I mean, we knew they were going to be good and motivated. And like I said, I think the start was a little bit of fool's gold. I think, you know, we were fortunate to be up 1-0 at the end of one. You know, I'm not sure we deserved it.
Final question for Pete. We'll go back to David Shane with the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Hi, David.
Right, Pete, at least on the shot counter, it was like 18 for you guys. That's a season low. What did they do defensively to limit those? They get so much attention for their offense, but they have a pretty good defense too, yes?
Yeah, they have a great defense, you know, arguably the most mobile defense in the league. And, you know, you have to have detail in your game and your forecheck routes and your offensive zone support, or, you know, they're not spending any time in their end. And we were lacking in a lot of those areas tonight.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Hey, Mark, what's kind of the mood in the room after that game? Is it move on to Saturday, or does this one linger a little bit for you guys?
I don't think you can move on when you lose a game 5-1. You have to sit down and look at it, see what went wrong. From first glance, I think it was just kind of got out-competed. I think their first period was pretty level. Take 3 penalties in the first 8 minutes of the second period. Lose flow, lose a lot of our top guys sitting, and we don't get 5-on-5 shifts consistently. I look at ice time. You know, 5-on-5 ice time is not there for guys because we take those penalties. I think our penalty kill did a great job. I mean, they get a lucky goal, but it just took a lot of flow out of the game, and they just completely dominated us for the last 15 minutes of that second period.
Next question tonight comes from David Shane, Las Vegas Review-Journal.
And Mark, you kind of touched on it, but Pete said even the first period was kind of fool's gold. Did you feel that way? Did you feel it kind of carried over into the second period?
I mean, I thought it was okay. I was a part of the game. It felt like we were. We gave up some chances, but overall, I didn't think we were getting completely outworked like we did in the second. But like I said, you take 3 penalties in the first 10 minutes of the second period, or 8 minutes, whatever it was. They're not coming out with a lot of momentum. Even if we did kill the majority of the penalties, they just kept throwing it down our throats, and we just couldn't match it. And then the lines get juggled. Guys are sitting at the end of the bench, and you get out of that rhythm. I think that was a really important part of the game.
We'll turn back to David Shane from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Mark, offensively, you guys didn't seem to be able to generate a lot of shots. What did they do, or what did they do tonight to prevent a lot of those chances?
Well, they have 4 or 5 very good puck-moving defensemen. If you turn pucks over, they turn it and go. I think you saw that pretty clearly. We weren't getting pucks in. We weren't getting our forecheck established. If you put pucks in behind them, they don't really want to go back and get it. But if you turn it over, they transition the puck better than anyone in the league. So they play a different style than most teams, and we're going to have to adjust to it. We're not going to beat this team off the rush. They got some guys who really do a good job. We have to make them come 200 feet to beat us, and I don't think we did a very good job of that. Our forecheck was just non-existent.
That'll conclude tonight's availability. Mark, thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Appreciate everyone else on the call as well. We'll send out full recording